Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chrisley shares heartbreaking post about daddy. Chrisley is missing his father a little extra right now. The star took to his Instagram to share a sentimental post in honor of his dad. Keep reading to see what he said. Chrisley and his dad, Todd, might not have the best history. However, that doesn't mean Kyle doesn't still miss his dad from time to time. Currently, Todd is serving time in prison. Originally, he was sentenced to 12 years in prison, starting in January of 2023. However, this sentence has since been changed to 10 years. Now Kyle is sharing a post in honor of his dad. Todd Chrisley has always had jokes. "Missing my daddy a little more every day," he shares. Along with the caption, he shares a very old family photo featuring his dad and his siblings when everyone was just young children. Several people showed support for Kyle in the comments. Some tell him to hang on, and others wish he had a better relationship with his father. I remember a couple of episodes of Chrisley Confessions where you and Todd spoke about what happened, and he had forgiven you. The comment starts. They continue by saying, "I don't understand why he won't speak to you. I pray you and your family all forgive each other. Life is too short to be angry," one person says. "This too shall pass. I'm praying for you and your family," someone else says. Hang in there, Kyle, and keep remembering all of those wonderful memories. Call your nanny, she will make laugh again, and she'll tell you. Keep smiling, your daddy needs you. Another says. It's a travesty. Your dad and Julie do not deserve this. Continuing to pray that justice prevails. Someone else tells him. While most comments were full of love and support for Kyle and the whole family, others are pointing fingers. One fan blames Savannah Chrisley for his relationship with Todd. Savannah is behind it, and it's just a shame. I'm sorry, Kyle, you try to do everything right, and then a nut job comes and gets you in trouble. I hope Todd comes to his senses. And poor Chase has turned to alcohol and always seems drunk. Sending good thoughts and hugs your way, they write. Of course, Savannah has spoken out against Kyle before. She has proven her support of her father by saying he doesn't have to accept abuse. My dad has every reason not to speak to Kyle. Just because it's your child doesn't mean that you have to accept abuse. It doesn't mean you have to accept manipulation and hate and all these things. People will do anything for a little bit of fame or attention. What I don't process well is having Kyle play the victim to life circumstances he's created. What I don't do well with someone who has abused people his entire life, now trying to play victim, trying to get people to feel bad for him. Yes, my father has not spoken to him, and that is because now we are all at a place where we don't have to be abused any further. We are allowed to create boundaries for ourselves, Savannah said previously. What do you think about Kyle Chrisley's post in honor of his dad, Todd? Let us know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to come back for more news on all of your favorite reality TV stars. In the world of reality television, the Chrisley family has long been synonymous with lavish living, sharp-tongued banter, and a complicated tapestry of love, dysfunction, and resilience. But behind the cameras and curated moments of Chrisley Knows Best, the family has endured an unimaginable level of heartache in recent years. The most recent wave came when Kyle Chrisley, the often private and sometimes misunderstood son of Todd Chrisley, shared a post that cut straight through the noise of fame and fortune, a deeply emotional tribute to his father, whom he tenderly referred to as Daddy. For Kyle, the word daddy carries with it a tangled history. It is not just a casual nickname, but a title soaked in both childhood warmth and adult pain. His post was not one of simple nostalgia, but a raw reflection of what it means to love a parent who has been both a pillar and, at times, a storm. A son's voice breaking through. Kyle has lived much of his adult life away from the limelight, struggling with battles that were often whispered about in tabloids but rarely understood in full. Addiction, fractured relationships, and public disputes often painted him as the troubled Chrisley, the one who couldn't quite fit into the shiny picture-perfect mold that the show projected. But anyone who truly followed the family's journey knew that Kyle's story was one of survival, redemption, and a desperate yearning for love and belonging. We took to Instagram this week to share a black-and-white photograph of himself with Todd. Arms linked, laughter caught mid-frame. It wasn't the glossy image fans might expect. Instead, Kyle's caption was what stunned followers. "I'll always be your little boy," he wrote, adding, "No matter how far I strayed, no matter how loud the world judged me, you were always Daddy. And now, all I wish is that I had more time." The post immediately drew thousands of comments. Fans expressed their heartbreak, while others thanked Kyle for letting the world see the softer, more human side of Todd that was sometimes overshadowed by his larger-than-life personality. The weight of family legacy. For Kyle, calling Todd Daddy was more than an affectionate nod. It was a plea for the world to understand the complexity of their relationship. Todd Chrisley, now serving his prison sentence, has remained a towering figure in the family's narrative. To some, he's the strict but loving patriarch who kept his brood in line. To others, he's been polarizing, accused of controlling the very family he claims to protect. Kyle's post reframed that conversation. It reminded everyone that before Todd was a reality star or a businessman, he was simply a father. And fathers, no matter how imperfect, leave an imprint that time or distance cannot erase. Kyle's choice of words, particularly the tender use of daddy, revealed a childlike vulnerability that fame cannot harden. It was as if he was reaching back through the years, past the scandals and estrangements, to those simpler moments when Todd was just the man who picked him up when he fell off his bike, or the one who scolded him for sneaking an extra cookie before dinner. Grief in the spotlight. What makes Kyle's post even more heartbreaking is that it comes at a time when the Chrisley family is already under immense strain. With Todd and Julie both serving prison sentences, the family's once glittering empire has been shaken. Each child has had to navigate not just the absence of their parents, but the harsh reality of living their grief under the unforgiving eye of the public. Kyle's tribute stood apart because it didn't feel like a performance. It wasn't polished or strategic. It was raw, aching, and deeply human. In one part of the caption, he wrote, "People may never understand us, Daddy. They see the fights, they see the mistakes, but they don't see the forgiveness. They don't see the love that keeps pulling us back together, no matter what." It's rare for Kyle to bear so much of his soul online, and the vulnerability struck a chord with followers. Many commented about their own estranged or complicated relationships with their parents, finding solace in Kyle's honesty. A journey of redemption. Kyle's post wasn't just about loss, it was also about redemption. Over the years, he has spoken candidly about his struggles with mental health and substance abuse, and how those battles strained his relationship with his father. But in recent years, Kyle has worked to rebuild bridges, to show up not just as a son, but as a father himself to his daughter, Chloe. "Daddy always told me I could be more," Kyle continued in his post. "Even when I hated him for saying it, even when I thought he was too hard on me. He just wanted me to see myself the way he saw me. I wish I had believed him sooner."